If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
The question, what is the best way to overcome shyness and boost self-confidence? Answer by Rebecca Knowles. The way you overcome shyness is to become so wrapped up in something that you forget to be afraid. Shyness is an awkwardness and an apprehension that some people feel while approaching or when being approached by other people. These people have a desire to be outgoing and to connect with others on a social and emotional level. However, they find this impossible because they can't seem to handle the anxiety that comes with human interaction. See also, 4 ways to overcome shyness in 14 days, Moldita. Before proceeding, it's important to point out that shyness is not the same as being introverted. Introverts actually feel energized spending time alone doing their own thing. They aren't afraid of social situations, but rather simply prefer to be by themselves. Social situations drain them emotionally, while solitary activities energize and spark their creativity. In contrast, shy people desperately seek the acceptance and approval of others. This makes them extremely self-conscious and fearful of being judged, ridiculed, criticized, humiliated, embarrassed, and rejected. They have a negative self-preoccupation and often evaluate themselves and their own ability in very limiting ways. In fact, when it comes to social situations, they expect that they will make mistakes and fail miserably to connect with others on a meaningful level. Their unhelpful thoughts and beliefs about their social interactions make them feel extremely insecure. And yet, one of their most endearing traits that of being a thoughtful listener is a vital part of any meaningful social relationship. Being overcome with shyness is never good for your social growth and development. Not only does it cause you to purposefully avoid social situations, it can also lead to isolation, sadness, loneliness, regret and depression. In fact, every time you avoid a social situation, you are at that moment depleting your reservoirs of self-confidence. And the less self-confidence you have, the less likely you are to give your opinion, to make new friends, to take advantage of social opportunities to further your career or attain your desired objectives. We all have goals and objectives that we would like to attain. It's unfortunate for shy individuals that the vast majority of these objectives require the help of other people. This means that to bring their goals to fruition, they must venture out into the world and make social connections. And if they are unable to do this, then they will end up living a life full of regrets and unfulfilled promises. All of these consequences can lead to a very problematic life. However, it doesn't have to be this way. If shyness is currently directing your decisions and actions, then it's not too late to make some pivotal changes starting today. The journey of course won't be easy and it will take some time and effort. However, with a desire to make these changes stick and a commitment to upgrade your social skills, you can certainly turn your life around. Overcoming shyness is not going to be a walk in the park. This isn't an easy process. There are many fears and anxieties in the mix, and as such you may very well need to work through each of them individually. However, as with everything that's of value, you will certainly make progress as long as you're diligent and follow the process step by step. Your very first step is to identify what it is you would like to achieve. Your desired objectives should initially be very simple and straightforward. For instance, you might set a goal to ask a stranger a question. After this initial encounter, you could set another goal to have a 2-minute conversation with a stranger. Then from there you would set additional goals that will help you make even more progress. Ask yourself, it doesn't matter what your objective is, as long as you are clear about it and it helps you become more confident in social situations. Your end goal of course might be to connect and network with hundreds of people at a networking event sometime in the future. However, you will certainly need to build momentum progressively over time before this event, or otherwise you might end up being struck with fear and anxiety on the day. When it comes to shyness, your obstacles are often internal and psychological. You might very well have unhelpful thinking styles that are dominating your thought patterns, or you could have limiting beliefs about a particular social situation, or it could come down to very narrow expectations of the social situation you're in. It's very important that you are clear about each of these obstacles before moving forward. Ask yourself. Answer by Anthony Pierre. If you want to overcome shyness, you have to know why are you shy. Be aware of the reason of your shyness. Is it low self-esteem? Toxic shame? The wound of rejection? Or are you just a little bit shy? With not a bad childhood? It's rare to find a person who is shy who has a good self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is how you see yourself. It's about the value you consider that you have. I recommend you to work on your self-esteem. What do you need to know? You exist and you have to take your place around people. Nobody would say you don't have the right or you don't remain in your place. You have to be vulnerable. What does that mean? It means you have to accept to be yourself. Be the real you and don't give a damn about others. Will you die if you are truly you without a mask? Accept that you're not a god. You are human. Humans make mistakes and they are imperfect. You have the right to make mistakes and to embrace your imperfection. Everyone has weaknesses, flaws, shortcomings. Everyone poops, farts, have bad breath when they wake up. You are just like them. Don't be intimidated by people. Nobody is perfect. You can't please everybody. So, be yourself. I know this feeling when someone is shy. He would like to please everybody and think people will accept them if they are nice. It's a lie. You need to know that people disregard people who want to please everybody. It's like you have no personality. Perhaps you are afraid that people don't like you if you say no to them. You don't reject the person you said no. You reject something you didn't want. Although this person you said no to is disappointed, you'll feel okay. However, guess who is going to like you? Yourself. Accept your emotions. Embrace them. People is going to judge you no matter what you do. They judge shy people harder than extrovert people. Usually people misunderstand shy people. How can you boost your self-confidence? First, what do you want to do with your life? Second, are you doing what you have to do to achieve your goals? Third, if you don't do what you want to do, what will happen in your life? My ultimate and most accurate advice is, take responsibility for your life. Today, you need to take responsibility for your life. Stop excuses. Stop complaining. Stop blaming. Take initiative for yourself. Leave your comfort zone, TV, computer, smartphone and do something that will be positive for your life. Have you ever been aware that nobody seems interested in taking your responsibilities? I'm sure you realize that. So, now do what you can do only for yourself. Take charge for yourself. It will be positive in any way. You will do what is really in your mind. You will do what you really want and your life will mean something for you. Start today by asking to yourself, what do I really want in my life? What do I want? Then say, how do I get that? Am I ready to do what it costs to achieve that goals? Hope that helped you. It helped me become the actor of my life. This video is going to help you. Answer by William Ranger. Win more often. How? Become the person who understands underlying trends better than others. Which underlying trends? The ones that are true everywhere, every when, every who, every circumstance. How can you do that? Learn the essential relationships of life derived from 3,000 years of effort. They are crystallized in the writings of Nichiren Daishonin, as taught by SGI President Daisaku Ikeda. Here is my understanding of that, in what I consider modern terminology. When you are hungry, the answer is to eat something. When you are thirsty, the answer is to drink some water. When you are unhappy, and lack confidence, the answer is to win more often. When you want to win more often, the answer is to enhance mental efficiency. When you want to enhance your mental efficiency, the answer is to remove blockages. Here's how. You win when you keep positive aspirations in your heart, and keep pursuing positive goals. More goals get realized that way, and your health is better, while your mind-heart is not clouded by misgivings. There are three main aspects of life hinder optimal use of these abilities. They form the conceptual envelope within which we operate most of the time. When these aspects are not integrated with human cognitive abilities, conflicts form. Those conflicts delay, and/or confuse thought processes. At times those conflicts replace thought processes with primal urges. 1. The attachment to security learned in childhood is very seductive into adulthood. Mama Papa provided, and made the rules. This causes people to try to find someone to believe in, like they believed in their parents. It is called attachment theory, and sometimes becomes attachment disorder. Politicians, salespeople, preachers, and stockbrokers are only too glad to oblige. 2. The body's own needs often dominate mental processes. There are the basic needs like oxygen, water, food, shelter. Then there are physiological feedback sensations. The proprioceptive system relates to the skeletal muscles and tells the brain where the parts are. The somatosensory system report on skin sensations. Then we can know how to move them. The interoceptive system deals with internal conditions that we don't need to notice when we are healthy. It supports the ability to maintain life. They are so important that it is easy to forget the mind and conscience. The exteroceptive system lets us know what is outside the body. It includes vision, hearing, smell, touch, taste. They are all integrated. All are required for physical survival. It is easy to get caught up in the view that that is all there is. 3. Over 30% of our brain mass is dedicated to visual processing. Yet, the eyes can't see the connections to all the other beings on this planet that the brain knows about, and great teachers keep reminding us about. The result is us versus them dichotomies, which are exploited and enhanced by the self-serving groups listed in 1. These conditions form the intuitive mental framework and are underlain by primal drives. Primal drives are essential. They are sufficient for most animals. They are not sufficient for humans in a civilization attempting to improve life by overcoming bestial behavior that takes the newer abilities developed by the human species. Very few people know about all 3 of these sources of confusions, delusions, because their study is split up in many disciplines. It is difficult for scientists to obtain funding to research them from the view of correcting confusions, delusions. Large-scale control by corporations, governments, and religions might suffer if the knowledge became widespread. Philosophical concepts usually arise from the interaction between these 3 factors, and language. Yet, these 3 factors can be incorporated into an understanding that transcends the limitations. After all the non-verifiable assumptions are discarded, these few simple truths remain. 1. The mind-heart-body does better when what is known to be true is the focus. 2. Life is both physical and non-physical. The bag of mostly water is just a bag of mostly water without the intangibles like life, hope, identity, and consciousness. 3. Causes produce effects. Sometimes this is not obvious because the time scales between cause and the awareness of effect vary. 4. Everything is always changing. The time scales vary and nothing is constant, yet there is an underlying continuity, like the warp and cloth. The above 4 points were summarized as Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, in Japan, by the monk Nichiren. His version of what people can do to win in life is so high-octane that it takes years for most to discard their cynicism, even when they get phenomenal results in their life by reciting the formula Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Most find that joining with others, who also have the same goals and observations, enhances the effectiveness, and gets them a big source of potential friends. It's one thing to be smart and frustrated, it is another to decide to try an extremely effective method of arranging the world to delete the need for frustration. Even though most people feel safer with contemplation than with learning something new, and working toward results, winning is better than frustration. You can Google the greatest secret human power or go. Who controls you? There is nothing to buy in these posts.